Hello, myself Shimmi Ashokan. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science at Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. Welcome you all to the second module of the course Logic for Computer Science. The second module of this course will be dealing with deductive systems and resolution. So the lectures on the second module is organized into three parts. In the first part, we will be discussing deductive system, and we will also discuss the Hilbert deductive system. And in the second part, we will be discussing conjunctive normal form and how to transform a formula into conjunctive normal form. And in the third part, we will be discussing resolution in propositional logic. So, once again, welcome you all to the part 1 of the second module, deductive system. Okay, so in this lecture, we will be discussing deductive system, the Hilbert system for proving formulas in propositional logic, and we will see certain derived rules in the Hilbert system. We will start with deductive system. A deductive system is a set of formulas called axioms and a set of rules of inference. And almost every logical system will have an associated deductive system. And this deductive system will help us to prove formulas in that particular logical system. Now, a proof in a deductive system, a proof is a sequence of formulas of this form. Say S is equal to set A1 to AN. Okay, and each formula AI in this sequence is either an axiom or it can be inferred from previous formulas of the sequence. That is, consider the formula A5 in the sequence. A5 will be either an axiom or A5 can be derived from the formulas A1 to A4 using some rule of inference. And this is the last formula AN. This is what we are proving. And this last formula AN of the sequence is called a theorem. And the sequence S is a proof of AN. And if AN is provable, we denote it using this notation. This notation indicates provable AN. And if provable AN, then we can use AN as an axiom in a subsequent proof. So see, this is the sequence of formulas which we use to prove AN. Okay, and AN, which is the final formula, is called a theorem. And this sequence of formulas A1 to AN is the proof of AN. So that is what a deductive system is. Hilbert system is a deductive system in propositional logic. Hilbert system can be used to prove formulas in propositional logic. In Hilbert system, there are several axioms and it has one rule of inference. And the capital letters A, B, C, etc. are used to represent arbitrary formulas in propositional logic. And this particular notation, it means that for any formula A of propositional logic, the formula A implies A can be proved. So this means A implies A can be proved. And the proof of a formula, it clearly shows which axioms, theorems and rules are used in the proof. And once a theorem has been proved, we can use it like an axiom in subsequent proofs. The axioms and rules of inference, rule of inference in Hilbert system. Coming to the axioms, in Hilbert system there are three axioms. The first axiom is provable A implies B implies A. Provable A implies B implies A. The second axiom is provable A implies B implies C implies A implies B implies A implies C. And the third axiom is provable negation B implies negation A implies A implies B. So these are the three axioms of Hilbert system. And see here, A implies B implies A. If we take the first axiom, A implies B implies A is an axiom scheme. That is, it is a shorthand for an infinite number of axioms, which is obtained by replacing the variables a and b with actual formulas. So we can use any formula to replace a and b, like this. See, here a implies b implies a. We can replace a and we can replace b with any formula. Here the formula p or negation q equivalence r is used to replace a, and b is replaced with the formula negation q and negation r. So see, when we apply this axiom a implies b implies a, you can see that it will be like p or negation q equivalence r implies negation q and negation r implies p or negation q equivalence r. See here, this formula a and this formula a, these two formulas should be the same, because here we have a implies b implies a, right? So this formula and this formula represents a formula a, which will be the same. Okay, so these are the three axioms in propositional in Hilbert system. Now coming to the rule of inference in Hilbert system, the rule of inference is modus ponens, and modus ponens says that if a is provable, a implies b is provable, then we can deduce b, or we can infer that b is provable. So it says that from a and a implies b, we can deduce b. Okay, so if a is provable, a implies b is provable, then we can deduce that b is provable. In addition to the rule of inference in the Hilbert system, there are several other derived rules. And the most important derived rule in Hilbert system is the deduction rule. What deduction rule says is, see here, U is actually a set of formulas which are assumptions in the proof of B. So this U union a formula A, that is the formulas in U along with the formula A is the set of assumptions in proving a formula B. If that is the case, then we can say that with the formulas in the set U, we can prove A implies B. We can take this formula A, which was in the set of assumptions, to the right side, and we can say that with the set of formulas in U, we can prove A implies B. So this is the most important deduction rule, or a derived rule. The most important derived rule in Hilbert system is the deduction rule, which we will be using in proofs. Always we will be using this in proofs. For any formula in this set of formulas, in this set of assumptions, we can bring it to the right side, and we can say that A implies B is provable with this set of formulas in U. Okay, now we will see how to prove a formula in Hilbert system. Given a formula in propositional logic, the formula is A implies B implies B implies C implies A implies C. This is the formula that we need to prove. And see, to start the proof, we need some formulas in the set of assumptions. Okay, and see, one most commonly used deduction rule or deduction is, suppose we have two odd numbers x and y. The sum of two odd numbers will be always even, right? So under the assumption that x is odd and y is odd, we can say that the sum x plus y is even. Okay, which means that with this set of assumptions, like odd of x and even of x, we can prove the formula on the right side of the implication. Okay, so whatever is on the left side of the implication, we can include it in the set of assumptions. So to start the proof of this formula also, we will consider the rightmost formula, and we will try to prove this formula with a set of assumptions which includes all the formulas on the left side of the implication. So when we consider this implication, on the left side we have A implies B. When we consider this implication, on the left side we have B implies C. And when we consider this implication, on the left side we have A. So in the set of assumptions, we will consider the three formulas A implies B, B implies C, and the formula A. Okay, so with this set of assumptions, we are trying to prove this formula. Okay, and see, if we have a set of formulas, in the set of assumptions, any formula in this set is proved. Okay, so the first step will be like, with this set of formulas, provable A is already a formula in this set, and we are assuming that all these formulas are already proved, and then we are trying to prove this formula. Okay, so we are under the assumption that all these three formulas are proved. So any formula from this set, we can say that from this set of formulas we can prove that particular formula, and that will be our assumption. So from this three set of formulas, it is provable A, and that is an assumption. See, on the right hand side, we will write whichever axiom or theorem we use to prove the formulas in the steps. Okay, and so this particular step is an assumption, so we write assumption here. In the next step, we again can take some formula in this set and make an assumption that it is already proved, that it is provable. Okay, so let us take A implies B. So in the next step, we can say that A implies B, B implies C, A. From this set, A implies B is provable. Okay, so this A implies B is also a formula in this particular set, so that is also an assumption. And now we have one assumption which says that A is provable, and one assumption which says that A implies B is provable. Okay, now to this we can apply the rule of inference, modus ponens. We have A and A implies B. From these we can infer that B is provable. So in the next step, we apply modus ponens to 1 and 2, and we get that B is provable. If A is provable and A implies B is provable, we can infer that B is provable. Okay, so we get B is provable. Okay, and see, our intention is to get this C. Okay, so next what we do is, we again make an assumption that B implies C is provable. Okay, so that is our next step. With this set of formulas, we can infer that B implies C is provable, which is an assumption. We have already assumed that all these formulas are proved. All these formulas are proved. So B implies C is proved. Now we have B and we have B implies C. To this again we can apply modus ponens. So applying modus ponens to 3 and 4, we get C as provable. See here, B is provable, B implies C is provable, which means that C is provable. So we have now the formula that from this set, with this set of assumptions, we have C, the formula C provable. Okay, now we, to get this particular formula, what we need to do now is just apply deduction rule. In deduction rule, it says that you have a set of formulas U and you also have a formula A in the set, then from which we can prove B. Then we can take A out and we can say that with the set of formulas in U, A implies B is provable. Okay, so from this set we can take A outside to the right side, and we can say that with the set of assumptions A implies B and B implies C, we can prove A implies C. Okay, so that is applying deduction rule on 5, we get A implies C as provable. And next we again take B implies C out, and we say that with the set of assumption A implies B, it is provable that B implies C implies A implies C. So we have now obtained this formula. Now what we need here on the right side, on the left side of the implication is A implies B. We have A implies B in this set of assumption. So again we can apply deduction rule and we can say that it is provable A implies B implies B implies C implies A implies C. Okay, and this particular rule is a derived rule which is called the transitivity rule. Transitivity rule says that if in transitivity rule, if A implies B is provable and B implies C is provable, then we can infer A implies C is provable with a set of formulas U as assumptions. Now we will try to prove another formula in Hilbert system. Suppose the formula is we need to prove is A implies B implies C implies B implies A implies C. So again here also to start with we need a set of assumptions. So we will consider those formulas on the left side of the implication. So the first formula on the left side of this implication is A implies B implies C. So we will consider A implies B implies C as one formula in the set of assumption, B another formula in the set of assumption, and A another formula in the set of assumption. So to start with, the set of assumptions will be A implies B implies C, comma B, comma A. And with this set of assumptions, we can prove any formula in the set. We are actually assuming that all the formulas in the set in this set of assumptions is proved, and we are trying to prove C. Okay. So from this set of formulas, we can prove A. It is provable A. That is an assumption. Okay. And again with this set of formulas, A implies B implies C is provable as another assumption. Okay. So here we have A and here we have A implies B implies C. So to this we can apply modus ponens. Modus ponens says that if A is provable, A implies B is provable, then B is provable. So here our formula B is actually B implies C. So when we apply modus ponens to 1 and 2, we get B implies C as provable. Okay. Now, so with this, this we have obtained. Now with this set of assumption, we can say that B is proved, right? So again we make an assumption with the set of formulas as assumptions. B is provable. So here we have B provable, B implies C provable. Again we can apply modus ponens to 3 and 4 and we obtain C as provable. C as provable. Now we have obtained the right side of this formula. All the other formulas is already here in this set of assumptions. So now what we can do is we can apply deductions. So first we apply deduction. We take A outside. Deduction on 5 we get A implies C is provable. Then we take B outside and we get B implies A implies C is provable. And then we take this formula outside and we get it is provable A implies B implies C implies B implies A implies C. Okay, and this rule is called the exchange of antecedent rule. That is, if A implies B implies C is provable, then we can infer that B implies A implies C is provable. And this this derived rule is called the exchange of antecedent rule. Now another formula to prove. We need to prove negation A implies B. So to start with, we will start with negation A in the set of assumptions. So we say we have negation A in the set of assumption, negation A in the set of assumption, and we apply axiom 1. Axiom 1 in Hilbert system says that it is provable A implies B implies A. So instead of A, we are substituting the formula negation A, and instead of B, we are substituting the formula negation B. So we have negation A implies negation B implies negation A. Okay, and that is axiom 1. And see, with this set of assumption, we can say that negation A is provable. We can make an assumption negation A is provable. Okay, and here we have negation A, and here we have negation A implies negation B implies negation A. We can apply modus ponens. And when we apply modus ponens to 1 and 2, we obtain negation B implies negation A is provable. And so we have negation B implies negation A is provable. And now we will apply axiom 3. And axiom 3 says that it is provable negation B implies negation A implies B. So that is axiom 3. Negation B implies negation A implies B. So Here we have negation B implies negation A in formula in step 3, and in step 4 we have negation B implies negation A implies B. And we apply mod exponents to 3 and 4 and we get A implies B as provable. And now we can apply deduction and we will get this formula proved. Applying deduction, we can take negation A to the right side and we can say that negation A implies B is provable by applying deduction to step 5. So thus we proved the given formula. Now, some common derived rules in the Hilbert system. Contrapositive rule. We have two contrapositive rules. First one is given that A implies B is provable, we can prove negation B implies negation A. The second one is just the reverse. Negation B implies negation A is provable means we can infer that A implies B is provable. So these two are contrapositive rules. Then we have double negation rule. That is, if it is provable that negation and if it is provable that negation of negation A is provable, then we can infer A or we can prove A. And if we can prove A, we can also prove negation of negation A. That is double negation rule. Then we have the rule reductio ad absurdum, which says negation A implies false. With that, we can prove A. So that those are some of the derived rules in Hilbert. We need to prove the soundness of the Hilbert system. The Hilbert system H is sound if provable A, then A is valid. If A is provable, then A should be valid. And this proof is done by using structural induction. And first we need to prove that the axioms are valid, and then we need to show that modus ponens preserves the validity. To prove that the axioms are valid, what we do is we consider the negations of the axioms and we construct the semantic tableau. If the tableau is closed, it means that the formula that labels the root is not satisfiable. The formula that labels the root is the negation of the axiom, which means that negation of axiom is not satisfiable, which means that the axioms are valid. So to prove that the axioms are valid, we take the negation of the axiom and construct the semantic tableau. So we will try to prove the validity of axiom 1 and axiom 3. Consider axiom 1. Axiom 1 is A implies B implies A. So when we consider the negation of it, it is negation of A implies B implies A, which is an alpha formula. Since it is an alpha formula, it will have only one child, which is labeled with A and negation B. So that is A comma negation of B implies A. Negation of B implies A again is an alpha formula. So we have that node will have just one child, which is labeled with B comma negation A. So here we have A and negation A, which are complementary literals. So this tableau is closed. Since this tableau is closed, this formula negation of A implies B implies A is not satisfiable, which means that the formula A implies B implies A is a valid formula. The same way we will try to prove axiom 3 also. Negation of negation B implies negation A implies B. This is an alpha formula, so it has got one child. We label the child with A comma negation B. So this is A comma negation of A implies B. Again, negation of A implies B is an alpha formula. We label the child with A comma negation B. Now this particular formula, negation B implies negation A, it is a beta formula. So negation B implies negation A will be negation of negation B or negation A. So we construct two children for this. the first child will be labeled with negation of negation B, and the second child will be labeled with negation A comma negation B. So here we have negation of negation B, which we can write as B. So that is actually an alpha formula. We write it as B. So this particular child has got only literals, and that is B, A, negation B. Here again we have a complementary pair of literal B and negation B. So this branch is closed. Here also we have a complementary pair of literals A and negation A. So this is also closed. Since all the branches are closed, this particular formula is not satisfiable, which means the negation of this formula is a valid one. Okay. Similarly, we can prove this for axiom 2 also. So, thus it is proved that axioms are valid. Axiom 1, axiom 2 and axiom 3 of the Hilbert system are valid. Now, the axioms of Hilbert system are proved. We need to prove that modus ponens is also sound. To prove that, what we do is, we suppose that modus ponens were not sound. If modus ponens were not sound, we will have a set of formulas A implies B, comma B, such that A and A implies B are valid, but B is not valid. That is modus ponens. What it says is, if A is valid and A implies B is valid, then B should also be valid. So if modus ponens is not sound, we should have a set of formulas such that A and A implies B is valid, but B is not valid. Since B is not valid, then there should be some interpretation I for which the truth value of B will be false. Okay, and our assumption is A is valid and A implies B is valid for any interpretation, in particularly for I. So if for interpretation I, A is valid, the truth value of A should be true. And for interpretation I, if A implies B is valid, then truth value of A implies B also should be true. See, so if truth value of A implies B is true and the truth value of A is true, see, truth value of A implies B will be true only if B is true in the case A is true. If A is true and B is false, the truth value of A implies B will be false. But it is said that the truth value of A implies B is true. So, since truth value of A implies B is true and the truth value of A is also true, the truth value of B should be definitely true. The truth value of B cannot be false. Okay, so that contradicts with the interpretation that truth value of B is false. And thus we can prove that the modus ponens is sound, which means that if A is provable and A implies B is provable, then B is definitely provable. This topic on Hilbert system and the soundness of Hilbert system is from Mathematical Logic for Computer Science by Ben-Ari. So in this lecture, we have seen what a deductive system is. We have seen the Hilbert system in propositional logic for proving formulas in propositional logic, which has got 3 axioms and a rule of inference, which is modus ponens. We have seen certain derived rules in Hilbert system. We also have seen how to prove formulas in Hilbert system, and we also have seen how to prove the soundness of Hilbert system. Thank you.